this is what kind of infuriates me.
You being a very successful transgender woman.
It felt like I was acting for 45 years.
We're just souls inside a human body, and when you were younger, you just knew.
That's what makes us girls special.
And I wasn't there for the whole thing of it. I just turned around, I just see Miss J going, what the fuck?
And so I commend you. You're beautiful.
What's your take on genitals?
But I do remember like kicking the door open, and then I ran into the Park Hotel lobby.
Hi everyone, welcome back to our podcast. We are about to have a moment. I'm your host, Tusi, with my favorite co-host in the world, Erin. And today we have the number one freaking amazing. Can't get enough of her so much. I love you, and I'm so happy that you're here today with us. Number one casting director in Hollywood, who actually casted and was on the set of my favorite actor and actress, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, from Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Miss J is in the house.
Yes.
You're too kind. I was an intern. That was my first experience in Hollywood, but I'm very proud of that.
That is a moment.
It's such
like
a
the
moment.
fact that you were that close to Angelina Jolie and you got a weft of her, like to me, that is a moment. That's like an Oscar award winner.
Loveliest person in the world. By the
Love
way.
her. She's so gorgeous. Oh, to just look like her and to be her. Ah, love her. Anyways, today we're here to talk about you and about you being a very successful transgender woman.
Mm-hmm.
And Erin and I were discussing this. We really wanted to have you come on to be not only just the voice of the trans community, but to also give us a little bit background of who you are and where you came and how it all started. And I think one of the really important things that we should really talk about is also how old you are, because I feel like that will also come into the game of, like how long it took you to get there and why you decided to change your transition at that certain age. So I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna pass the mic over to you.
Sure.
Just give us like an overlook of like who you are and where you all started and how the trans community support you and how you have supported yourself through your transition.
Yeah. I mean, if you want me to take it like back to the beginning.
Yeah. Let's go.
I knew I was trans since I was 2. That's my first recollection. I remember I was looking through a photo album, a wedding album, with my aunt, and I kept pointing to the bride. And I said, I want to be the bride. And she goes, no, you want to be the groom. And I go, no, I want to be the bride. And then she said, you could be whatever you want to be, just don't tell your mother.
Oh my God.
So,
You're like, I like that white dress. I want to be a princess.
I did. I always, when we played
And
house,
this was when
I
you were
wanted to be the
2.
mom. Yeah, and then so I kind of insisted and told people I was a girl until around age maybe 6 or something, when I found out that was not okay and started getting bullied for it. Mm-hmm. So, and then I just...
Where were you raised?
Suburbs of Philadelphia. It's called
wow.
Westchester.
Super Republican.
It is. Philly itself isn't, but my hometown's pretty conservative.
Okay, so that was probably tough because that upbringing and their mental thinking and their conditioning is to be against that kind of a community of the LGBTQI and also especially the trans, especially being in today's day and age where they took the T out of the LGB. Now it's not T.
Yeah,
right?
It's just LGB. It still doesn't roll off the tongue for me. I can't not say LGBTQ. It's so part of my French fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when did you decide that you wanted to shift and like actually make the change?
I decided apologies, back to your original question. I'm 47 years old. So I decided at 45.
We need that skincare routine.
It's called Botox.
Yeah.
But I decided at 45. It was, one of my biggest regrets in life is not having the guts to do it at an early age. But my mom was diagnosed terminal when I was 45, and she was going into hospice. And I decided life's too short, and it's time to start living my truth. It was really fucking scary because I was with my fiance. We had dated almost 4 years as men, and so I was convinced he was gonna break up with me. and he's the sweetest thing in the world.
I've met him. Such a good soul.
He's such a good soul. And when I transitioned, he said, "You still have the same eyes, and I love you no matter what." And the sweetest
That's real
thing.
love. Going back to what you said was that you and him met when you were before you became a transgender.
Correct.
So you started off as a gay male. Was that by force that you were to be gay? Because
I mean, self-imposed. I watched Jerry Springer, like we all did in that
Yes.
era. I am a woman of a certain age, as I just revealed. But
give me those Jerry bees.
but transgender people were clowns then. That's how we were viewed. You couldn't get an office job at that time, so predominantly sex work, and people would laugh at them, scream channy, throw chairs, like it was insanity. And I remember I was like, I can't do that to my mother. Like I don't know if I could do it to myself. And I can still see a penis and be a gay man, and I'll be half happy. So a good friend of mine that's straight cis male found it so fascinating that you could have like a double coming out. Like it's like I came out as gay, and that was only half the truth, or not even really the truth, because I don't really identify as gay. But I then, at 45,
Right, that was the closest thing to what you could be.
it was
for
acceptable.
Right,
and
acceptable.
Hollywood was cool with it at the time. Like gay was still, was fine. Maybe it wasn't in other parts of the country. It still sucked for me in, Pennsylvania.
Right.
But in Hollywood, it was fine.
What was the voice that, I guess, what was the voice in your head like before your transition, and what is it like now after the transition?
It's a good question. I think what people don't understand necessarily is, and this is what kind of infuriates me when somebody comes out and like a parent or a friend says like, John is dead, which was my birth name. Like, I don't know this J person. I experienced that in my family.
Right.
And I'm the same person.
Right.
I think the same thoughts. It doesn't. Yes, I've made some obvious physical changes to my body,
Which we
but
definitely want to get into that for sure.
of course. But mentally, I still feel like the same person.
Right.
My sense of humor is the same. Like everything, how I navigate the world, like it's John's still in there.
Right.
Did you think that this is like a choice, or do you think this is your destiny to be a trans woman living?
Yeah, destiny. You're born this way.
Yeah.
I think as
Yep.
we've all come to the conclusion for the most part that gay is not a choice. I think trans is not a choice either. I don't know why someone would choose to live a harder life.
Right. I just want to take a moment quickly.
Yes, please.
When I was a little girl, I used to see angels in the sky. I had this gift, and I just knew that I could tap into something. We're just souls inside a human body, and when you were younger, you just knew. And I just feel like more people have to understand the fact that this is who you are. You were born this way,
Right.
and it is what it is. And so I commend you. You're beautiful for making the shift, and it's really hard because I'm sure that going throughout your whole life, how did you even cope? Like, how did you even cope with just having to be somebody else and not being able to be your authentic self and speak your truth?
It was quite
It's like putting a mask
mentally.
on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It felt like I was acting
Right.
my whole life for 45 years.
So hard.
Yeah, and you just kind of snap into it. I remember, in high school, the teacher had left the room talking with another teacher out in the hallway, and a kid gets up in front of the entire class and says, "John walks like a girl. John, get up and walk in front of the class. And I did, and everybody started laughing, and it was super traumatizing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That bitch should have got slapped.
I know. I wish I had the strength back then that I do now to have done that. But but no, it's made me like after that moment, it's so all-consuming. Like every mannerism and gesture, you're pulling the pinky in from the holding your glass, like just the way I walked down the hallway, the way I spoke, and anything like that. Like it's just so mentally draining to think about every single mannerism and move that you make. To navigate the world that way is so tiring.
And I do think like that's why like a lot of people are afraid of like the trans community too. And I work in the hair industry, and that's like the most open-minded, most artistic, most diverse kind of field of job. And what I hear the most, and I've experienced this myself because I know that I clearly do not fit any kind of gender, male, female, and I'm okay with that because I love fashion. I never allowed my identity to identify my sexuality, and I'm just always been myself. And I think that's really important for anyone that's really watching, to be yourself and to enjoy your life. You get to live one life and do what you got to do to make yourself feel better, because no one's going to come pick up after you but yourself. And going back to you, I really want to know how did you get out of that, because you're so successful. Like, going back to the trans community, you're right, I did study it, I looked into it, I was searching a lot. Just not that I don't know enough about it, but it's always great to like educate yourself. And that's why a lot of people who are uneducated have a really bad idea about this.
Right.
And I think education is the key. That's why we do need people to be educated, not just when they're 40, but when they're younger, so that people don't come out and start shooting people, killing people, or being racist, being bullied, drugs abuse, becoming prostitutes. A lot of these stuff comes from the fact that someone's uneducated, so they do feel that there's something wrong with them, and the fact that they're not normal or they're not part of a normal society, they must do something to feel normal. And whatever that is definitely not the good road, it's the wrong road. And so going back to what I was trying to ask you was, how did you come out of that and not go towards all those negative things and start believing in yourself, even living in like a town which clearly wasn't the most diverse, and also you did go into an industry where still trans wasn't accepted, but the gays were. Right, yeah. And a lot of people don't know this, but the gay community does not support the trans community as much as they should, because it's like they're both fighting for the same rights, which is weird. So I want to hear, how did you get out of that, and how did it feel to be here today, being this gorgeous woman and successful?
I mean, and going back to the gay community, I think it's important that people realize that during Stonewall, a black trans woman was the first person to throw a brick. So really, the trans community.
We owe it to the blacks.
Yeah. Trans color women of color, really
have definitely impacted
paved
that.
the way, and they don't get the credit that they deserve.
So for someone who's watching right now, who's young, who's obviously not stable as someone like you, who has more wisdom,
right?
You're like, don't call me old.
I know. I can't believe you made me tell my age.
Listen, you look gorgeous.
Ask a lady her age.
I know, but the reason why I wanted to ask you about your age is because I want people that are watching today to see what it took to be this person that you are today. You're like a fine wine, Like, we need to see this transition, where you got this transition, and how you started it, So for that kid that's watching right now, it doesn't matter if they're trying to transition from a male to a female, or from a female vice versa to a male. What can they do to make themselves feel accepted within themselves? Fuck the society, because society will always have something to say. My father always told me, never accept society's idea. At the end of the day, even once there's a cure for AIDS, what do you think people are going to say? The first thing that comes out of their mind. They're not going to clap for them. They're going to say, what took you so long? Right. That's just society that we live in. So going back to you, what is it that you could tell the young generation how they can cope with this?
It's a difficult question, because it really, depending on obviously the age of the person, if they're a minor, it it really depends on the parents. But I would tell children that, really feel strongly that, they were born in the wrong body, to advocate for themselves, to find the courage and the strength if they feel safe in their home, that is, to tell a parent or a guardian or a school counselor or whatever that may be, what you're experiencing, because I wish that I had done that, because it was really hard to transition at 45, because obviously I had gone through puberty as a male. So I'm 6 feet tall, like there's things you can't change. Like you can do this, you can do other things, but puberty blockers, I would have died to have gone on puberty blockers, and
like Kim Petras.
Yeah, I would die to be that size. Like you would never know that person was transgender.
You would never. Or the other big influencer, Nikita, makeup by Nikita. When she came out on Ellen, I was shocked that she was a transgender.
I know.
I was shocked, and it's because she was on hormone blockers at a young age before puberty, so she was able to be the true woman and not go through the male cycle and then deplete the male cycle, take the testosterone out, and then inject the estrogen in, and then go through all that again. That's a lot on the body. And this is why I don't understand why people think that it's a choice. Like, why would anybody want to do all that?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's crazy how people's mind is just so their world is so small.
Yeah, so small.
Wants to put themselves through surgeries,
especially as a spiritual medium. Money. Like, do you not feel that a lot of people are not? I don't want to use the word woke because I feel like it's been used and abused, but like just like spiritually, close-minded.
And it's just like you have to think about it. Whether you were born this way, if you're religious, God loves everybody. The universe loves you. Your angels love you. We are who we are, and we're born this way, and that's it. And we should just live our life and be happy. And the fact that everybody has so much to say, their negativity, it's just beyond.
I think they're afraid. The fact that you're like yourself are able to be yourself, and many people are not, and that's what they're afraid of. The confidence.
They don't have the courage to do something like you did.
Well, thank you for saying that. And I've never wanted to toot my own horn, but I will on that one. Like,
absolutely,
it takes a lot of courage to walk in these shoes.
You're strong.
Yeah, and we love that.
I feel the stares. I get the yells. I've been,
What were some of the things that you've been called?
Tranny. I had 2 sexual assault attempts on me.
What?
Yeah, guy.
Sexual assaults?
Yeah, I was walking home from a bar with a dead cell phone, and my first month in transition, and I felt like a car following me, and I how you could just like spidey sense, and I turned down my then street at the time, and I hear the car stop and park, and then before I knew it, I just felt his arms around my waist, and he pulled me into the car.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
And I was lucky enough that I was able to.
How did you get out of it? How?
I blacked out, kind of. It's like you just go into this mode. I'm not sure how much transpired, but I do remember like kicking the door open, and then I ran into the Park Hotel lobby, hysterical, and
I'm so sorry.
And somebody was kind enough to walk me home from the hotel.
So like now jumping from that scenario, which I'm so sorry that you had to experience that, and not to dumb it down or like forget about it, but like that's another thing is like, how do you feel about many states like Ohio, North or South Dakota, Carolina are now banning transgenders from using their, I guess, the woman's bathroom, and now they have to use the sex that they were born with bathroom. So yours would be a male?
Yeah, that's.
Do you feel safe?
Not a fan of that. Mentality, as you may imagine, because I don't understand the counter argument, because I've never heard of this happening. Maybe it has, and maybe it's 1 in a million, but the cis people especially cis straight people.
So for people who don't know what cis is a definition meaning that you were born with the genitile that you were born with and you represent or identify with that. So if you're born with a male penis, you are identified as a male or vagina.
And their counter argument is that we are in their restroom to molest their children or rape them.
That's insane.
And I was like,
have you guys ever heard about the
of
priest next door?
I know, right? That's who you need to be afraid of, people.
I had a really bad encounter with the priest because I went to Catholic high school, and I don't want to get too deep into it, but we had confession, right? And they told us we were conditioned to believe that like masturbation, any type of self-pleasure is a sin, and that God doesn't want you to do that. So they made us go in hell, and this is I'm like 13, 14, so obviously I want to go to heaven. And like the way that they describe hell, I mean, who would want to live in hell? It's like I'd rather have a Birkin than a freaking coach.
Right.
So, like, obviously I want to go to heaven, duh. Like, so I was like, okay, like I'm gonna go on like Tuesday, like just put it together, just tell Father all the sins that you've done and how long it's been, and here are my sins. And I told him, I said, I've been giving myself pleasure and I had masturbation. And the priest puts his hand on my thighs and goes, my son, how many times a week do you do that?
Stop it.
And I was only 13 years old, and it was at that time that I truly felt something inside of me say, okay, this is not for you. This is not for anyone. If you sinned, you can do that at night with your own God and have your own confession.
Yeah.
And it's weird how come they never talk about things like that, but a transgender going to a female's bathroom or vice versa, a male's bathroom.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like I personally think I don't feel safe to use the male restroom. Like I tried it in the past, and representing the way I do, and all these men at the urinal behind me, and I'm fixing my lipstick, and they're all staring at me. Like, that's awkward.
Yep.
I think, but I would, Erin, as a cis woman, like, how do you feel if you ran into me at a restaurant?
Are you kidding me? You should be. Let's fix our fucking lipstick together. Period.
Love you.
Erin, and how do you feel like if you were to like walk into the bathroom and you see like a woman standing and peeing and she's not sitting and peeing?
I don't give a fuck. Yes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why is this?
Like, why is this such a big deal?
I don't even understand.
Yeah.
Truly.
I don't get it myself, but it's always, I'm always curious because my goal is to never make anybody feel uncomfortable. If I have a gender neutral option, I will always take that bathroom as to not cause
honestly
any duress.
Trans, non-trans, or anything, I'd always rather take that bathroom because it doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man. Some of those bathrums are nasty.
They are. And let me tell you, women are not as clean as we think. Those ladies' rooms are.
I've seen some tampons on the floor.
Yeah. They are not ladies when they go in.
Damn, some of them be smelling fishy.
Got it.
All right, I want to roll into something that I love, plastic surgery. Mm-hmm. So what is it that you had to do to feel like a woman?
Well, funny you should ask, because you play a huge role in that for me. I have obviously had breast augmentation, which really
look at those girls.
They're
the moment.
Tell me if they pop out. Okay?
Oh my god, we kind of do want a little sniff now. Yeah. They're so gorgeous.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Golshani.
We love it.
He's the best. But that helped. Obviously, going under hormone therapy helped. It feminizes the skin. Softer, your hair becomes more lustrous, your nails get stronger, that plays a part. And then hair is huge for me, which, as we all know, Toos is the best in the business. And Because I went basically from 0 to 60 in my transition. So when I decided like I'm gonna do it, I still had very short boy hair, so I wasn't able to do extensions. I didn't have enough length
Oh, wow.
to do it. So as Toos knows, I started with wigs.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I love a wig, but there's something about the dysphoria. You just don't feel like a woman when you get in bed with your partner and take that wig off and plop it on the mannequin head.
Right.
Or you can't take a shower
Right.
with your husband or things it's
Yeah.
like, so I have, in my opinion, the most gorgeous extensions.
Yeah.
Stunning.
Thanks to Toos.
Well, they're yours now, baby. You paid for it.
Yes, exactly. A pretty penny. But
She ain't cheap.
she's not.
That's
Her
some
accountant just
Slavic
told her
hair.
that
That's
the
some
other
Slavic
day.
hair straight from
Yes.
Russia. So, the best for the best.
Yes,
Let's
yes.
go.
But I owe Toos is so much. He's just really made me feel like the woman I am today. So
love
between
that.
my Tusi and Dr. Golshani, I feel so much better. I'm contemplating additional procedures, but I'm still undecided on what that may be.
Erin wants to know.
I love plastic surgery, even though I've never had any.
You don't need it.
Oh, honey, love you. But
Well, I know that Erin wants to know, and so does Al, a videographer, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people want to know.
Okay, Al.
Are you going to have bottom surgery?
Jury's out, but leaning towards no.
Okay. Do you feel like with or without it, you would feel more of a woman, less of a woman? What's your take on genitals?
I mean, I think it would make me feel more of a woman, but I identify proudly like non-binary and trans, and I kind of think that that's what makes us girls special.
yeah.
So I'm more apt to not. And I just feel like I know it's a brutal surgery, and as we've revealed, she's as old as the hills. So things like that are, that's gonna take a minute to recover from,
Right.
and I don't know if I want to do that to myself.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Spiritually speaking, not trying to get all spiritual, do you feel like you are living in alignment with your purpose and you're like happier, like your soul's happier now that
100%.
you're you?
Yeah. I'm not a religious person,
Yeah.
but I am spiritual.
Yeah.
And there's, obviously I hope I don't leave this world anytime soon, but I'm really happy to die a woman.
I love that.
Well,
So
Not loving, not loving that.
I know what you meant. I know what you meant.
But like that you are like, I'm living my life. I don't care. This
Yeah.
is me. And we never know when we're going to pass away.
Right.
And like, if I died tomorrow, I know that I'd be happy speaking my truth and just, yeah,
Yeah,
beautiful.
that's true. And it two snows, not to be a downer, but I just lost my mother and brother within 6 weeks of each other. So,
So sorry.
thank you.
yeah.
So that's been rough, but it just reaffirms that life is too short, and you only get one go around.
Yes.
So
Amen.
live your truth.
What do you wish what do you wish about more people understanding about the trans community person?
That we're all
About
this-
being transgender. I think that was the question.
I just think people don't realize we're no different. People are people, no matter the color of your skin or your sexual preference, your gender identity. We're certainly nothing to fear. You know, I've never heard of you know, a trans pedophile or rapist or things like that. Like, that's cis white men. Or a gentle people that just want the same rights as everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, looking at your name, you're going to change it. And obviously, are you thinking about changing your gender on your passport or on your IDs? Is that
Thanks to
something that...
Donald Trump, that's not an option. I believe I could probably change my name, but there's now, as we know, I think he even did it in his inauguration speech, that there's only 2 genders now. So if you were if you were under the previous administration, had changed your sex on your passport, when you came up for a renewal, they would go back to your birth certificate and change your gender marker, which can be very dangerous for trans people as they travel through countries where it's a crime. You know, you could be killed or put in jail for being trans, and if you don't look like your gender marker, that's very unsafe.
Yeah, there's definitely a dark side to being a transgender, and one of it is I'm 100% sure you guys probably get really fetishized.
We do.
And
We're also, I don't know if it's trans, forgive me, I don't know if it's trans in general or trans women of color, but I believe we're in the highest murder rate.
So what is the craziest things that you've got, like messages or, you know, on social media, and they like want to do with you or to you?
Yeah, I get a lot of.
I'm definitely your type. I'm for sure you're a type. So I'm sure you have some crazy DMs.
Yes, my DMs are full up.
Tell us some of the craziest things that you got.
Oh God. You know, the men that want to be pegged, or you know, I can't even begin to go into it.
And most of these men what do they identify as?
Straight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say 90%.
Like married.
I think there's some married in there. Yeah. And then on the streets, and I mean, Chus and I had an experience where I was getting hit on by a man that I didn't want the attention. We were out, and he didn't take the rejection very well, so he pulled my dress as far away from my chest.
This is super gnarly. Yeah.
And he takes his entire drink and dumps it down my top.
It was insane, and I wasn't there for the whole thing of it. I just turned around, I just see Miss J going, "What the fuck?" And it was like a whole thing, and I was like, "Wait, what happened?" Security tackled him. I was trying to like figure him out, and he was like coming. I was trying to push him. I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like, it was insane. Like,
it's insane.
And I think it was like they were trying to rub your breast.
Yeah. He had reached under and grabbed my bare breast, and that's when I told him about himself, and he didn't like that, and then the drink went down my top.
That's crazy.
I have no words. This is, other than I'm sorry
Thank you.
Experience.
Yeah, people are going back to things that are just, you know, don't feel good sometimes. She said, I don't know if I ever told you this, but I had called an Uber, and I come out, the car's waiting on the street. I go up to the car, put my hand on the handle. I hear it lock, and he drives away at like 60 miles an hour up the street. Didn't want me in the car.
That's crazy.
I can't.
That's disgusting.
Even.
That is nasty. If you're watching this, you need to get your license revoked.
Seriously. Yeah. I don't even remember if it was Lyft or Uber, but they did get a stern email from me after that. That felt really terrible. Like, I don't think I'm a scary person.
No, you're amazing.
That's crazy.
You're so amazing. It's just this world. We need more love.
100%. Yeah.
We were going to wrap this up, but I really want to hear from you, from your experience and from what you're going through. What anyone that's watching right now, what can they do to support the trans community? And it doesn't have to be anything like a donation or, like do the vote for trans right and this and that. Just something that they can do on a daily basis when they see a trans person to make them feel better, maybe. Or what's the smallest thing?
Yeah.
What can they
what
do? Yeah.
You answered it. It's the smallest thing.
It seems like these days I just ask the question and I answer it myself.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, no, it's the simplest things. Like, and I love this. And back to what you were saying about gay people not really being trans allies. Mostly all of my compliments come from straight cisgendered men and women alike. You look really beautiful today. Oh my God, I love that nail color. Or this, just those little things that make you feel nice that I tell people themselves, not even trans, just when I saw you today, I was like saying how gorgeous you were. It's just, we have, that's all you have to do.
I love you. Thank you for being so vulnerable and open with us and sharing your story.
Of course. Thanks for having me, guys.
But we're not going to let you go because this podcast always likes to end with a game. So Aaron loves that game.
About this part.
This is the best part. Are you kidding me? This is the moment. So I like to play a game. Would you rather?
Oh, shit. Okay.
Okay, so I'll start off with an easy, funny, silly one for you. Would you rather have a magical eyebrows that always look on porn? On porn.
That's
iconic.
Would you? Okay, well, let's start it again. Would you rather have a magical eyebrows that always look on point, or magical clothes that always fit perfectly?
The clothes.
Okay, that's hot. Would you rather time travel to tell your younger self everything will be okay, or jump ahead to see the fully affirmed you in 10 years?
As much as I want to know the future, I'm scared. I think I'd want to go back and tell myself that
Miss Little J, she's gonna get her boobies done.
Yes.
And she's gonna have the gorgeous hair.
Yes, and you're beautiful.
Best face ever.
Just get through middle school and high school, and life's gonna get better.
Yes. All right, this one's a little tough one. It's thoughtful.
Okay.
But I do believe that you are the one to ask this question. So would you rather live in a world where everyone instantly understands gender identity, or one where dysphoria doesn't exist?
The former. Yeah, the first one.
And why?
Gender dysphoria or like body dysmorphia? Because I would really like
a little
body
bit of both.
dysmorphia
Yeah.
not to exist. Because
Yeah.
I suffer from that quite a bit.
Okay,
I'm not going to be able to watch the show. I'm just telling you.
You know what? I think this next question that we'll ask you and kind of we'll weasel into this one.
Okay,
Would you rather educate people about trans issues constantly but make real change, or never have to explain again but things stay the same? These are tough.
These are tough.
Yeah.
As much as it sounds like I wouldn't want to talk about it ad nauseum, but I have to make change.
Okay, love that. This is the final one. This is my favorite.
Okay.
Would you rather get misgendered by a parrot forever, or have a GPS voice that always uses the wrong name?
What's this? You lost me at parrot. I went.
All right. Would you rather get misgendered by a parrot forever, or have a GPS voice in your car that will always use the wrong name?
I'll take the parrot. Do you make this shit up?
Look, I don't know. I'm sitting there drunk at 4 a.m. What questions can I ask Miss J to be fun, thoughtful, silly? And I think about a parrot. It's a parrot,
I am dead.
Well, Miss J, we love you so much. It took us a long time to finally convince you to get on this show. I'm so glad that you're here. Finally, I can go to sleep. Erin, is there anything you want to add to that?
I'm honored to know you. I love you.
I love you too.
And I love you too. Thank you so much for being on our podcast.
Of course.
I'm 1,000% sure you are going to just thrive. Everyone's going to love you, respect you. And the fact that you are just you, you're a winner. And that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what we think or what others think. The fact that you are you is a winner already. So thank you again.
You are the
Thank you,
moment.
my loves.
You are the moment. And we're having a fucking amazing moment.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Thanks again. Love you. You look gorgeous, baby.
I love you.